The new NordicTrack 1750 is here. It has the same design as the past couple of versions, but there have been a lot of changes to the treadmill itself and iFIT. Is this the best 1750 yet? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome back to TRG. I'm Sydney and I'm giving you the full rundown of the NordicTrack 1750 and how it performed for us. Before I jump in, make sure to like and subscribe. We test all of the latest treadmills and fitness equipment so you know what to expect before buying. Also, there's a link in the description of this video where you can check the current price of the 1750. At the time of filming this, it is $2,499. We are affiliates. NordicTrack sent us the 1750 to test, but this doesn't influence our opinion in this review. But if you're ready to buy, we'd appreciate you purchasing through our link. It helps us out and allows us to make these reviews at no extra cost to you. Now, the 1750 is in NordicTrack's commercial series lineup of premium folding treadmills. One thing to keep in mind is that even though it's called the commercial 1750 on NordicTrack's site, it's a home treadmill. It's made for home use, not commercial use. As far as home treadmills go though, the 1750 has been one of our top recommendations for years. And I'm just gonna start out by saying that I think this is the best version of this treadmill yet. I'll get into my reasoning in a moment, but first let's talk about the overall dimensions and fitting this treadmill in your home. So the 1750, as it's laid out like this, is 77.3 inches long, 37 inches wide, and 59.5 inches tall. The deck folds up, which helps save a lot of floor space when you're not using it. To fold it up, you lift up the back of the deck and you push it up to lock it into place. And then to unfold it, you push your foot against the vertical bar under the deck and the deck will lower to the floor on its own. When it's folded, it can be moved. You have to tip it back to engage the wheels. Just keep in mind that this is a 300-pound treadmill. It weighs 311 pounds when it's delivered in the box, so it's heavy and it might not be possible to move or even fold for some people. I've noticed the deck is pretty heavy. I have to get down into a squat to fold it up, whereas with the previous model, I could practically fold it up with one hand. I can fold and move the 1750 just fine, but I don't want to have to move it very far, so it's best to keep it where you plan to use it or nearby at least. A big contributor to the weight is the steel frame. So this supports the deck and two steel uprights connect up from the frame to extend up to hold the console that the touchscreen is fixed to. This design is pretty typical for treadmills with touchscreens. We've been seeing this design from NordicTrack, Sol, and Peloton in recent years. And this design of the 1750 is the same as the previous version. It's easy to use and pretty minimalistic. It's also solid with barely any screen shake, but I'll get into the console and the touchscreen in a moment. The handles have a plastic coating so they don't feel slippery and there's plenty of surface on the console to grip for balance. All right, I'm most excited about the motor. This is a 4.25 continuous horsepower motor. It's the highest powered motor that we see on treadmills built for home use. And this motor can handle a lot of use. So distance training, if you have multiple people in your household who want to use the treadmill, this motor can handle it. I'm glad to see that the 1750 has the same motor power as the higher end NordicTrack 2450 and the new NordicTrack X24 and X16 incline treadmills. The 1750 is less expensive than these, but it can still handle heavy training. And it goes up to 12 miles per hour and has a 12% incline and -3% decline. So this speed, incline, and decline range are pretty typical for most treadmills, so you have plenty of training options. And the 1750 is also pretty quiet. This motor is quieter than the previous model. And in our testing, its decibels were around the equivalent of a microwave, maybe a window fan when it's at its max speed. So motorized treadmills make noise, and their noise output increases when you increase the speed, so keep this in mind. And the incline and decline are really quiet. I often have to look down at the deck to see if the grade is adjusting because I often can't hear it. So I'm gonna run on the 1750 a little later in this video, so stick around for that. So a surprising thing about the motor is that it is very quick to adjust. So we do a test to time how long it takes each treadmill to go from 1 miles per hour up to 12 miles per hour. Before, the Peloton Tread and Horizon treadmills were the fastest to adjust, but these new models from NordicTrack have been a little faster. The 1750 is about 4 seconds faster than the Horizon 7.8 AT. And the new 2450 is slightly quicker to adjust, but only by 1 second. So really, with all of the new NordicTracks that we've tested, they're really awesome for interval training. The 1750 was by no means slow to adjust before, but now I don't even have to think about waiting for the motor to slow down when I'm getting tired. And the deck pairs well with the motor because it's 22 inches wide and 60 inches long. So this is the largest deck size that we see on folding treadmills. And it supports all stride lengths and all fitness levels, so there's plenty of room. And it's 2 inches wider than the previous model, the 1750. Now, what I appreciate most about NordicTrack treadmills is their deck cushioning. So this is the amount of give in the deck when your feet land. Running is a high impact exercise, and I often get discomfort around my lower legs when running, especially outside on concrete. I don't get that when I'm running on NordicTrack. NordicTrack has the softest deck cushioning compared to other brands of motorized home treadmills. And I had never thought my legs could actually feel refreshed after running until running on NordicTracks. So the 1750 is comfortable without feeling too bouncy. It's like I get a little slight spring in my step when I'm on it. So if you get discomfort from running, or if you just want running to feel more comfortable, I highly recommend NordicTrack. And NordicTrack now includes a lifetime motor warranty with the 1750, and then their standard 10-year frame, 2-year parts, and 1-year labor warranty is also included. We're excited to see this coverage for the motor. And for assembly, I would have at least 2 people for setup just to make the process a little smoother. All right, so a large amount of the 1750's features are in the touchscreen. So NordicTrack offers subscription training content with iFIT that's $39 per month. You can use the 1750 without iFIT, but we highly recommend subscribing. Anytime a treadmill or other kind of fitness equipment has a touchscreen, usually a lot of the treadmill's functionality is built into the touchscreen, and that is the case for the 1750. Okay, so without iFIT, you can use manual mode, and you can use this with connecting the treadmill to Wi-Fi or without Wi-Fi. Just a track and your metrics are shown on the screen, along with more controls for the treadmill. And if you want to access onboard workout programs and a few featured iFIT workouts, you'll need to connect the 1750 to Wi-Fi and create a free iFIT account. So it's gotten a little more challenging to get into the free workouts without a subscription lately. The whole console is really built around the touchscreen to encourage you to use the touchscreen, ideally with a subscription to iFIT, so keep this in mind. If you don't want to pay for training content, I would check out a Soul or Horizon treadmill. But let's get into everything iFIT offers. iFIT is one of the most popular training subscriptions, and with all of the updates recently, I like using it even more, and it's been one of my favorites for years. So iFIT has thousands of trainer-led workouts. Some are filmed indoors with the trainer just walking and running on a treadmill with the camera pointed at them as they guide you through the workout. So if you've taken an in-person studio class, like a spin class or a Peloton class, these are like that. They're pretty standard. Where iFIT stands out is their outdoor workouts. So it's a spin on studio workouts because they're filmed outside in locations all over the world. So the camera follows the instructor as they go through places like Italy and Costa Rica. And iFIT has workouts that are filmed on every continent, so you can train across a large majority of the world from the 1750, which is pretty cool. One of my favorite features with iFIT is Smart Adjust. So this is where the 1750 automatically adjusts to match the format of the workout based on the instructor's cues. Smart Adjust analyzes your effort in previous workouts to recommend different speeds and inclines. So this is to help encourage you to progress over time while customizing each iFIT workout for you. And when you're taking outdoor classes, the incline and decline adjusts to match the terrain. So this is really awesome for hands-free training. And Auto Adjust is another feature that automatically adjusts the 1750 based on your heart rate. So this is to encourage you to train within specific heart rate training zones. You'll need to use the armband from NordicTrack that's sold separately, or use a compatible heart rate monitor like a Garmin watch. I wish my Apple Watch connected to more fitness equipment. I can track my iFIT workouts in the Apple Health app, but I can't sync my watch to see my heart rate on the 1750 to use active pulse, unfortunately. Hopefully Apple will make their watches more compatible with more fitness equipment in the future. All right, a new feature with iFIT is the create your own workouts. So you can create customized interval workouts and set targeted time, distance, and calorie goals. These are nice if you want to do your own thing and not follow along with an instructor. So right now iFIT is beta testing a lot of these new features in the new 2.0 version. Currently, the Google Map feature isn't available. This is where you can draw your own routes on a Google Map, and then images of the location are displayed on the screen during your workout. We hope this feature will be coming back. But I have a full written review of the NordicTrack 1750 at treadmillreviewguru.com, where I talk all about these updates, and I'll update my review if Google Maps comes back on the 1750. My favorite update is the streaming apps. So there's Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Spotify right now. You just need to log into your account for each of these apps. You also need to subscribe to iFIT to access them. I know it can be a little frustrating that they're not just available on the screen, but a lot of training subscriptions like Peloton and Journey do this too, but just keep this in mind. I really like how these apps are integrated with iFIT. So I can take an iFIT workout and then I can mute the instructor and I can watch a Netflix show, and the treadmill will still automatically adjust during the iFIT workout. And I can also listen to Spotify instead of the feed.fm feature that iFIT uses for music. So the music has been my biggest critique of iFIT. There are preset playlists of songs that play in the background of each workout instead of the music being incorporated into each workout. So since the music is in the background, I just prefer listening to Spotify. And a Coach AI feature is coming. It's currently being beta tested. With this feature, you're supposed to be able to text with iFIT's AI Coach Tailor, as they call it, to schedule different iFIT workouts, and then they'll suggest iFIT workouts based on your training goals. I'll update my written review once this feature is available and we're able to use it. And the touchscreen has also been updated, so it's now slimmer with faster processing for all of these features, and I definitely notice a difference. It's faster and a little more responsive. The screen is also a little bit bigger than the previous one. It is 16 inches, and then it tilts and pivots side to side, so you can take treadmill boot camp classes and mat classes with iFIT from the 1750 screen. There's a little bit of screen glare, but we've noticed that the latest version of iFIT is only in dark mode, so I think it makes the glare with the overhead lighting especially more apparent. In the bright outdoor workouts, you don't notice the glare. I just notice it when I'm scrolling through like iFIT's library, or if I'm choosing a song on Spotify when the screen is darker. And with how much the screen tilts up and down, it's helpful for people of all heights. I'm only about 5'1", and the screen is pretty much right in my line of sight. For Matt, who's 6'5", he has to look down at the screen, but he has to look down at a lot of treadmills consoles, but he can tilt the screen back to see it better. Just keep this in mind. If you're over 6 feet or so, the screen might feel a little low for you. And like I said earlier, there's just a little bit of screen shake, but most treadmills with touchscreens have some shake, and it's not distracting on the 1750. Now there's no longer numbered adjustment buttons on either side of the touchscreen. So these have been on previous models, and they're for adjusting to specific speeds and inclines really quickly. There's the general stop, start, and speed and incline buttons on the console. And the speed will adjust by 1/10 with these buttons, and then the incline by 0.5%. And the numbered buttons are now on the touch screen, so when you're in a workout. So I like to jump from like high to low and back to high speeds and inclines. So I use the buttons on the screen for the most part, but it can be a little hard to use them while running. You have to scroll up or down if you want to kind of jump around with the speed and incline, so just keep that in mind. I think some roller dials or some sort of adjustment buttons on the handles would be nice. The speakers have been improved, so the volume goes pretty loud and they're definitely a little clearer. I have no problem hearing a show when I'm running. And the fan is also powerful and effective. There's multiple settings for the airflow. You can't adjust the direction of the vents, but it hits my neck and face. And the cup holders are standard to hold your water bottle. They hold my 40-ounce Hydro jug, and they'll hold a smaller water bottle just fine. And if I need my phone nearby, I have to put my phone in one of the cup holders. There isn't a device rack to stream content from your phone or your tablet. And you can't pair your phone or play content through the 1750 speakers or the touchscreen with your device, so just keep that in mind. You can sync Bluetooth headphones to the speakers, but this design without a device rack encourages you to use the touchscreen and iFIT. All right, here I am at 3 miles per hour. Six miles per hour. And 9 miles per hour. Here's the -3% decline. And full 12% incline. Here's Matt at 3 miles per hour. Six miles per hour. And 9 miles per hour. Thanks for watching my review of the NordicTrack 1750. Is this the best version of this treadmill yet? I think so. The 1750 has been one of our top recommendations for years, and this model packs a lot of features into really high quality construction. The motor is powerful, so if you're looking for a treadmill to handle marathon training, or if your household has a lot of people who want to use the treadmill, I would consider the 1750. It's quiet and very quick to adjust for interval training, and it's made to handle your toughest workouts. iFIT is a large part of the 1750. So the thousands of trainer-led workouts and features like Smart Adjust and Active Pulse make using the treadmill really convenient and fun. And now with iFIT, you can stream from apps like Netflix and Spotify. Plus, the treadmill has a 12 mile per hour max speed and 12% incline and -3% decline for plenty of training options. And the 1750 is really comfortable to run on. So the deck cushioning is soft underfoot. And with the 1750, you get the same premium quality and many of the same features that the higher end NordicTrack 2450 has, but at a lower price. So some things to keep in mind is that the touchscreen might be a little low for taller users. It tilts and pivots, so it's really adjustable though. And without a subscription to iFIT, you miss out on a lot of the features on the touchscreen, and a lot of the 1750's functionality is built into the touchscreen. Again, iFIT is a big aspect of this treadmill, so keep that in mind. But with all of the updates to iFIT that iFIT has gone through, I find myself running longer on the 1750. Who doesn't like the idea of watching Netflix while you work out? Thanks again for watching. To learn more about the 1750 and iFIT, head over to treadmillreviewguru.com. I have a full written review with even more details there. And to check the current price, click the link in the description and make sure to like and subscribe. We have a lot of great content coming your way. I'm Sydney at TRG. I'll see you next time.